All right, viewers, remember it is an unprecedented escalation by Pakistan despite India's measured, refrained and non-provocative response to the 22nd of April Pahalgam attack. Pakistan has decided to provoke yet again. In a dastardly offensive, Pakistan tried to strike Indian civilian and military infrastructure. The first information came from Jammu, where at least 8 missiles were fired towards the border areas and those were intercepted. Since India has launched counter-offensive, giving a befitting reply to Pakistan, key meetings, remember, are lined up in the national capital as we speak. In fact, in a few moments from now, the joint briefing of the Ministries of External Affairs and Defence is expected to take place any time now. But let's quickly take you through the top developments at this hour. This has been what has been happening in the national capital. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh is expected to meet the DRDO chief. Jammu and Kashmir LG is en route to Uri to meet the soldiers who are there. 40 flights have been cancelled from the Jinnah airport. Air raid sirens have been there in Panchkula, Haryana. People have been evacuated from those areas that are close to the line of control as well. There's a downed Pakistan missile found in Hoshiarpur, extremely important. Neutralized Pakistani drone has been found in Bhatinda. Pakistani missile was downed in Kutch as well in Gujarat. Remember, 7 terrorists have been killed by the Border Security Force in Jammu and Kashmir's Samba. A suspicious object, meanwhile, has also been found in Jaisalmer. So these are the kind of developments that have taken place since this entire escalation by Pakistan has unfolded since yesterday evening. Of course, more details are still trickling in as to what has happened there. We'll know of more of how the Indian Armed Forces and the Government of India had responded since last evening. Since this entire escalation happened, more and more details will trickle in. S-400 missile systems were talked about and a lot of other things that kept coming up. We'll get a confirmation of them and more details of what exactly happened since yesterday evening and what is happening today. When this press conference happens, anytime now, we are expecting that press conference to happen. But let me also quickly introduce my guests on the show. Captain Akhilesh Saxena, Kargil war hero, is with us on the broadcast. Wing Commander Abhishek Matiman, former spokesperson of Ministry of Defence, is with us. Air Marshal Kapoor is with us. He's an ex-air officer commanding in chief. Commander V.K. Jetli expected. Colonel Shailendra Singh also is with us in the broadcast. Good evening, good morning to all of you. And it's a rather good morning, gentlemen, since we know that Indian Armed Forces have been able to thwart the kind of escalation that Pakistan did towards us. But let me begin with you, Captain Saxena. How do you see this moving forward now? There's a lot of concern across the country how this will move forward now. What do you expect?
So, if you see, when India struck after Pahalgam, it was a very, very calibrated, and it shows the maturity what India has a nation, right? So India is not an irresponsible nation. They've shown that despite being stuck, they are innocent citizens. They just kept their strike focused onto just ensure that terror network was, it was destroyed. But Pakistan, now if you really see the dilemma at the Pakistani side, they are like running like a headless chicken, and the real situation, if I can describe, it is Vinash Kale Viprit Buddhi. So it is now time for their destruction has come, so they do not know. So their army is in a total chaos. Unconfirmed reports say Chief of Army Staff Asif Munir has been taken into being arrested, and General Mirza will be taking over. Their politicians are running all the way. ISI does not know how to react. So what they do not know how to react, because they have to do their face saving. So to do the face saving, and as I mentioned in other show, they do not have the money to fight the long conventional war. Their cost of deployment, if they just keep their entire army deployed for 3 days, they are going to 1 billion, and their total reserve are just down to 9 billion, right? So they cannot even deploy their army for more than 15-20 days.
Okay.
Now only thing was left, get the cheap drone from China, try to do some, face saving. But Indian defense system, air defense system, they stuck them also. Then they started with some missile. All the missiles were detected and destroyed. So right now, Pakistan does not know. They are just reaction. They are just doing reacting by the way. And they're just trying to move out and save their way.
There's a lot of speculation as to perhaps Pakistan was testing the defense system, the radar systems here, sirens. What do you have to say about that? Should we see this as just a testing, or should we see this as a proper escalation and a war that has been declared by Pakistan?
So, you know, in the process of escalation, there are many steps. This was perhaps one of the steps. And what I think is encouraging is that they used very low quality, cheap drones.
Okay.
And because of which, one was that most of them were shot down and neutralized by multiple, you know, counter drone systems that we have. But one thing I want to highlight in the whole process is the importance of air defense in the escalatory ladder. You know, you imagine that if these drones were able to find some targets and there was some damage on the Indian side, India would have had to retaliate in a much bigger way.
Yeah.
There would have been no choice. But because of this very strong air defense system, which has been integrated between both the Army and the Air Force, what it has resulted is it has caused no damage to us. That means we still hold the control in the escalatory ladder.
Yeah, and the expertise and the skill.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Colonel Shailendra Singh, you know, get us more and talk to us more about the S-400 missile system, which is something that is being talked about since yesterday, and how it's been a huge Sudarshan Chakra for India when it comes to saving the kind of targets that perhaps the Pakistani army had in mind.
Jai Hind, Namaskar. If you can allow me 5 seconds. Vinash Kale Viparitu Buddhi. Oh, bhai sahab, buddhi aayi kab? There is nothing called as buddhi. The way the things are going, please evaluate it, absolutely analyze it, totally justified way. There is nothing called as buddhi. What has happened is कि जब इस गीदड़ की मौत आई है, ये अब शहर की तरफ आया है. And this time the शहर is reacting. And if you can allow me, sir, which weapon are we talking about which is substandard? They have everything substandard. And by the way, I think this time they have allowed to expose their top quality air defense system of China.
Yeah.
Which is proving what it is.
Yeah.
And not that I am against them. Even the Iranians came, bombarded them and went back, and the air could not detect it. The air defense could not react it.
Colonel Singh, I'll come